What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at two powerhouse lights, the Flashpoint XPLOR 400, also known as the Godox AD400 Pro, and the Westcott FJ400 version 2. So if you're looking for a solid on-location studio strobe, something that's portable, you could just throw in your bag and pack with you, then this video is for you. Also, assuming you're not a camera nerd, just know this will not be a scientific review of either one of those videos. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a clearer understanding of the differences between the two lights and how they could fit into your style and workflow and budget. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. First things first, let me mention one thing just to clear any confusion. The Flashpoint XPLOR 400 and the Godox AD400 Pro are the exact same light. If you purchase it from Adorama, they have some type of special licensing agreement with Godox so that they're able to rebrand the light for certain like American warranties or something like that. But outside of just the name on the actual product, it's the exact same unit and it's compatible with any other Godox product, whether it be other lights, strobes, on-camera flashes, the triggers, they all work together. So Flashpoint and Godox are the exact same thing. The only difference is if you purchase it from Adorama, it's going to come branded as Flashpoint. Anywhere else, you're going to get the Godox version. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's get into the differences. The Flashpoint, or the Godox rather, and the Westcott are both 400 watt second lights, meaning they're both bright enough for pretty much any portrait or on location or event work that you might have to do. If you're curious about what 400 watt seconds means exactly, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine each one of these flashes has a bucket, and that bucket fills up with 400 watts a second, or whatever. And every time you pop that flash, you're dumping out the bucket. If you have a 200 watt second flash, that bucket can only get filled up to 200 watt seconds. But if you have a 400 watt second flash, you can fill it up to 400 watt seconds. And when you pop that flash, you're dumping out all 400 watts at the same time. I don't know if that visual makes any sense, but that's the best way that I can describe it. You're getting more output per flash. It's not the same as watts on a light bulb. It's watts seconds, 400 watts essentially in a second when it pops that flash. But I digress. Let's talk about the differences here. The Godox, the menu system is very straightforward. I've used it for a long time. It feels very comfortable, very reliable. The menu system is very simple and easy to use, whereas the Westcott feels a little bit more polished and luxurious. Everything is a bit more refined. It's got a fancy touchscreen. It's the backlit LEDs and all that. It's not complicated by any stretch of the imagination, but it just feels like there's more going on, even though there necessarily isn't any more going on. So if you're the kind of person that'll just throw a modifier on your strobe and start taking pictures, then the Godox is perfectly fine for you. But if you're a little bit more picky about the way that your gear feels when you're using it, then you might want to consider the Westcott. And if you're not already deeply into this world, then you might not know what that means. But there is a feel when you use your gear. Everything has to feel right, at least in my experience. I don't know. Now again, the AD400 Pro, if you have the Flashpoint version, it'll work perfectly fine with no issues with any other Godox products that you might have, and vice versa. If you have the Godox version, any Flashpoint accessories or other lights, there won't be an issue. It's all cross-compatible. It's the exact same product, just with different branding on the units. And Godox makes a wide variety of products and accessories and modifiers and things like that that you can use with it. On the Westcott side, there's no rebranding going on, but they do also have a bunch of things you can use, including a bunch of soft boxes and different triggers and things like that that you could potentially use with the FJ400. But let's talk about the important stuff, the battery life. You don't want a light that's gonna crap out on you in the middle of a photo shoot. You want something that's gonna last for a session or whatever you're using it for. You need it to be reliable. And I have found it to be the case with both of these lights, with one minor exception. Both of these lights will get you through almost any photo shoot you have without any need to worry. But the FJ400 will give you a little bit more cushion if you're doing a lot of like bursts or like non-stop shooting. The Godox AD400 Pro will give you about 390 full power pops, which is legit. And I can't imagine there'd be too many instances where you'll need more than 390 pops at full power. But the FJ400 is rated at around 480 pops at full power. So about 100 more full power flashes, which could be beneficial depending on what you're doing. Like I said before, Both of them work perfectly fine, with the exception of one instance. For me personally, I do a lot of youth portraiture for a lot of youth sports portraiture. So I might have, 10, 15 teams to shoot in one day, which equates to, maybe 100 or 150 athletes. And, you're taking a couple of photos of each athlete. So I have run into issues with my AD400 with battery power. Luckily, after the very first time, I went out and bought a second battery for it. And shortly after that is when I started transitioning over to the Westcott system. I haven't had any issues with it since, and I've never had issues in the middle of a photo shoot. I've always been able to get through a session, with the exception of shooting in bulk, essentially, when you're talking hundreds of athletes at a time. But outside of that, I've done all kinds of events, weddings, parties, photo shoots in studio, on location. I've never had issues with the battery. Now, price-wise, there's not a huge difference. The FJ400 version 2, right now you're looking at about $650, but if you want to pick up the version 1, which is just as good, then you can pick that up for about $450. The Godox AD400 Pro is also sitting at around $450, but they do also have a version 2, which is right around $600, so a little bit cheaper if you're on a budget, but I don't think the difference is enough to break the bank. But if you're budget conscious, then something to consider. The version 1 of both of these lights is more than adequate. Obviously, I'm comparing the version 1 to the version 2, but that's because those are the lights that I own, and I use them in tandem still to this day. Although, truth be told, I have been slowly transitioning completely into the Westcott system, but that takes time. Things cost money. That being said, if you're looking at the entirety of the ecosystem, if you're looking to find a little bit more budget-friendly options, then the Godox side of it all might be better for you. But if you're looking for more premium products, then maybe consider the Westcott. But all right, that's about it for me. If you're still undecided on which one of these two lights you should get, then drop a comment down below and let me know what kind of work do you do and what kind of gear do you have? What are you using right now? Maybe I could help you out, give you some tips or some advice, and point you in the right direction maybe. Or if you are decided and you're looking to pick one of these up, then I'm going to drop a few links down below so you can check that out. And if you got any value from this video, then do me a solid, guys, hit that like button and consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it if you did so. It really helps out the channel and it helps me find the motivation to keep on going and make another video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.